What is up, YouTube? Jonny here again today, and we're gonna be bringing you a video on the IS300. It's been a while since we've done a video on this, but I've noticed that you guys have been commenting on the ride height of my car. Noticed it a lot on my IS300, the 10 things I love about it. And yeah, on one of the clips I showed that it was lifted. And even though I enjoy having it at this height just because I don't have to worry about speed bumps, I don't have to worry about parking in front of a curb, I'm gonna go ahead and stance it or lower it for free. Obviously, you guys know that I already have coilovers on it, so we're gonna be adjusting these to lower the car just to a point that's reasonable. I don't wanna go too crazy just because it is still my daily driver, but I do want it to look a little bit nicer and then just kind of be looking up at drive-thrus where you have to extend your arm all the way up and look up at the people when you're gonna order something. I don't know what it is about that feeling, it's just kind of funny. So, without further ado, let's get started. All right, so you guys saw the height that it is right now, which is kind of ridiculous because all four corners are actually different heights. I don't know why that is. I have never actually messed with the height on this car. I didn't get to meet the owner before it. And on the opposite side, so on the right side of the vehicle, they're actually about a 1/4 inch lower than the ones on the left side. So I'm not sure what the reason for that is, but we're gonna go ahead and evenly match all of these. So this is the first step that you wanna do, is actually go ahead and measure all the distances. That way you know in your mind how much you have to lower. And then that way we can set them all up to be symmetrical. So that way the sides are even. You don't wanna have the car driving down the street looking kind of like slanted. Or in this case, this car is actually taller in the front by a lot. From the bottom of the fender to the top of the tire is about 1.5 inches. So that's how much I wanna lower it. I don't really wanna lower it anymore to where I'm tucking. I just want to have that nice flush fitment to where the fender lines up with the top of the tire, and I think that looks nice enough. Any lower than that, you're probably about to stance life. But it's still my daily driver. I still want it to be somewhat functional, but I think it is going to look pretty awesome being lowered, and it's going to stand out a lot more than it does now, because right now it just looks like a normal car, and if I lower it, people are going to notice it, a little bit more. They're going to be able to notice that I've done something to the car because that's obviously lower. So the first thing we are going to do is we're going to loosen up all of the nuts. You guys know I don't have a lift, so we're going to have to do this the good old-fashioned way. All right, as you guys can notice, I'm missing one of them, but this is because this is where the locks were and I didn't have the key for them when I got the car. So let's go ahead and loosen these up. There we go. If this is too difficult for you, what you can do sometimes is just put it like that and just go ahead and kick it. And that'll actually help you loosen them. So now that they're loose like this, you don't want to go ahead and take them off more than that. Now that they're loose like this, you don't actually have to lift up the car yet. I'm gonna go ahead and do the rears, and then I'm gonna try to lift up the whole side first and then adjust the coilovers accordingly. There we go. Okay, so now the next step is to go ahead and raise the car. I'm gonna be lifting it up straight from the frame. So you wanna go ahead and look underneath your car to where the actual biggest beam is underneath your car to make sure that you're not gonna damage anything. Okay, so just so you guys know where to jack it from, the normal spot that most cars actually jack from, or they recommend you to jack from, is the skirt right here, which is basically where the body has a couple of cheeks folding, and it's supposed to be a strong point. But if you look at this little section right here, looks like the previous owner or tire shops or whatever tried to jack it from these spots and actually bent the skirt. So the strongest point to jack it is from the actual part of the chassis that's kind of like a beam that goes all the way from the front to the back. That part won't bend because it's actually some of the thickest metal that they put in the car. And from that spot, you can actually lift up the whole side of the car with just one jack, which is pretty awesome when you're gonna do work like this and you want it to be a little bit quicker. So let's go ahead and lift it up. And from this section, we should be able to lift up both of these tires on one side. Got the fronts off the ground. And the rears are now off also. All right, so now that we have it off the ground, let's go ahead and loosen it up. Looks like it's already a little bit loose, but let's go ahead and take off all of the nuts. Fortunately, I don't have a compressor here, so we're gonna have to do this all by hand, but it's okay. I don't mind it. Takes a little longer, but it's definitely a workout. So make sure that when you're taking off the last one, you're holding the wheel just so it doesn't fall on you. There we go. Now we're gonna go ahead and take this off. It is off now. Look at these massive brakes. I've only seen the front section of them because the wheel actually just covers this, since they barely fit underneath the wheels. But look how fat these are. These are amazing. I was wondering why my car was shaking at high speeds, and I think I know why now. It's either my wheel's not balanced, my tires are bad, or it's these ghetto spacers. I figured that these might be one of the causes for my issue. So I looked through all my pile of parts and I found these. These are ones that I've had for a really long time. I actually bought these when I had a Honda S2000, which is the car I used to daily drive way before the FRS. These are made in Germany. They're 10mm, and these are actually really high grade aluminum ones. And they're the same bolt pattern because the S2000 is the same bolt pattern as the IS. They're 5 by 114.3 or 4.5. The only issue is that the hub-centric ring does not fit. This is a little bit bigger than it is on the Lexus cars. I really want to run these. I've had these in my storage for so long, and I don't want to go ahead and buy new ones because they can be pretty expensive. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and chop this off, and they should be a lot better than these actually, because I'm pretty sure that these are throwing off some of the weight balance. So these are nicer, a lot more high quality. I'm just gonna cut that off. The only reason I have to do that is because the Lexus wheels have a smaller hub ring, and these don't fit with the Lexus wheels. And since I'm gonna be keeping the stock wheels, the reason we need these is so that the stock wheels cover the brakes. So that way there's no rubbing, there's no issue. That's what we need to do. But let's put that on the side for later. And we're gonna adjust the coilovers. Before we can adjust the coilovers, we're gonna go ahead and clean up all the section just so it's a nice clean environment. And because of the fact that the threads on the coilovers we're gonna go ahead and adjust, they're really dirty, so we wanna get that cleaned up first so we can adjust it really easy. So let's go ahead and get started. By the looks of this specific coilover setup, it actually has a really short spring and it doesn't look like it has much room for travel. So in some cases, I've seen different coilover setups that adjust with the body. So I'm gonna have to put this cylinder, basically where all the thread is at, put this into the bottom part of the coilover. I'm guessing, yeah, you can twist it. So we're gonna have to twist this down into the body of the coilover, which is gonna lower the car without reducing our travel. So we're gonna keep the same travel, but we're gonna go ahead and lower down the car. So let's go ahead and do that. So an inch and a half off of 2 inch and 3/4 is an inch and 3/4, or an inch and a quarter. So I'm gonna adjust this all the way to an inch and a quarter, which is about here. That's how much we need to go down. All right, so now that we finished with the adjustment, that should be the right height that we desired. Went ahead and measured it, obviously beforehand, measured it now. I know that the specific size of these, I memorized them, so I can go ahead and transfer it to the other side just to make sure that they're gonna be even on both sides. These were the spacers that were on there. These are probably like some AutoZone ones, because I literally went down to AutoZone today and saw some of these there. And these are my made in Germany ones. We're gonna go ahead and slide these on. So the only reason why the front requires this 10mm spacer is so that the wheel is free from touching this, or else it would be rubbing. So let's go ahead and put the wheel on. Okay, so let's go ahead and put this wheel on. Done, you went ahead and put the wheel back on, you went ahead and tightened them hand tight, you set the car down. This is when we're actually going to torque the nuts to spec. So let's do this. 5, 10, 15 pounds of torque. There we go. Make sure you get it in a crisscross pattern just to make sure they're all tight. I'm just kidding, guys. This is not really how you torque it, but it works. When you hear that nice little crack, don't go past that. All right, guys, that's gonna be it for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. These coilovers were actually really easy to adjust without messing with the travel. So if you do end up deciding to lower your car, make sure you do it the right way and save up for some coilovers. You don't wanna go with cut springs or just regular springs. And that's gonna be it. So now you guys get to enjoy the new look.